Hey everybody, welcome to or back to my channel, My Kinda Stuff, and today we are doing a little holiday romance reading vlog. So the first book I want to talk about that I just finished reading was My December Darling by Lauren Asher. I have not read any of her romance books. I have a couple. I keep meaning to get to them, but she writes kind of longer books, and I've just been a little intimidated by them, if I'm being quite honest. Um, but I'm excited to read more from her. I ended up giving My December Darling 4 stars. This is a small town romance novella, so it was perfect to, I think, dip my toes into her writing. Uh, we follow our two main characters. They are both, well, one's a doctor and she is a traveling nurse. Um, they both work a lot. They haven't had good relationships. Our female main character, her sister is actually marrying her ex, which is why she is back in town right now for her sister's wedding. The whole drama with the ex when it gets revealed, I holy cow. It was a lot, but our male main character is so cute and so sweet and so infatuated with her, but like kind of afraid to rock the boat because he is friends um with her family, and he ends up getting this like really exclusive hard to get Lego set so that he can invite her over to build Legos with her. Are you kidding? I love building Legos. That's like the perfect date. Just invite me over for some Lego building. So it was really cute. This one just really hit the mark for me. The Legos, like that sold it to me. But it was really cute, really sweet, pretty short. I think it's about 250 pages, but I actually listened to the audiobook on Hoopla. Um, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was super cute. And I also plan on reading Window Shopping and Trick Shot this week. So I will check back in with you guys when I have some updates on those. All right, I have officially finished my second holiday romance of the season, and that is Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey. Um, I gave this one 3 stars. It wasn't perfect by any means. It's about 260 pages, so it's a little longer than a novella, but not really a full length novel either. Um, her female main character in here, I feel like her background that was given to her was meant purely for shock value alone, and that's what I didn't like about it. She had just gotten out of jail. She was locked up for armed robbery with her best friend, and now she doesn't really know what she's doing, where she's going to go. She needs to find a job, and she is wandering through the streets of Manhattan, kind of looking at all the shop windows because before she got locked up, that's what she was going to school for, was to be like a marketing department store merchandiser kind of person. So she's like kind of judging all the window displays and like, well, what she would do to make them better. Um, and she stops in front of this famous high-end department store, and of course, our male main character appears next to her and is just kind of listening to her babble on about how this window display sucks and how she would do it if it was up to her. So he goes through all these weird, elaborate like things to get her hired. Um, he like tells her that they're looking for someone, and she applies, but then his assistant, because of course he owns the shop, because why wouldn't he? His assistant is like going through, but because she was an ex-convict, she got put in the no pile. And he doesn't know her name at this point. So he makes his assistant call every single person in that no pile and interviews every single person. He spends an entire day interviewing people, just hoping she will show up. Of course, she does, and it kind of progresses from there. He hires her on. There's a lot of like tension when people that work there find out that she just got out of jail. No one really trusts her. They try to like blame things going missing on her, and he has to stand up for her. Overall, it was cute ish, but why did she need to be an ex-convict? She couldn't just be any random woman down on her luck. Like, why did we need that shock value? I've read a couple holiday romances that have done something like this, and they've just all kind of been a miss for me just for that alone. Like, we don't need that. We didn't need that. It's a holiday romance. Make it cute. Don't make it like shocking. It doesn't need to be that. Um, but yeah, otherwise it was fine. 3 stars in true Tessa Bailey fashion. There are some very spicy scenes, but honestly, less than I was expecting. um, so yeah, I'm excited to get into my next book, and I will check back in with you guys when I finished it. All right, let's talk about Christmas Land by Anne Marie Meyer. I actually read this because Jenny from the Haphazard Book Nook recently read it and really enjoyed it. And she also told us that there is a Hallmark movie coming out for it on November 30th. So, really excited to read it and then watch that. Basically, this book takes place in a small town called Christmas Land that like fakes reality to give people the ultimate holiday romance experience. Um, Beatrice is our female main character. She's kind of grumpy. She doesn't really have a family. She spent her entire childhood in like foster care, so she's never really celebrated Christmas. But her best friend Amelia wins an all inclusive trip to Christmas Land and basically begs Beatrice to go along with her. Of course, she reluctantly agrees, and it's just really cute. Our male main character, why I'm blanking on his name right now, Ethan, I believe. Um, Basically, the inn they're staying at, his mother owns, and he is there as like an actor for the season. And his mom kind of pushes them together in order to help make her holiday season. Um, he's kind of reluctant to do so. He just wants to like stay in his room and be left alone. He's kind of a grumpy hero. Um, but she pushes and pushes, so he takes her out on the town, and then there's like a baking competition and just all kinds of like feel good Christmas events going on that he helps her participate in. And of course, through all of this, they start falling for each other. Um, in true Hallmark movie fashion, his ex shows back up in town, so there's some drama there. But overall, it was just really cute, fun, goofy time, and I gave this one 4 stars. So I highly recommend reading this one and also watching the movie because we just watched that a couple days ago over in Discord together on the Love and Horror Discord, which I do have linked down in the description below if you'd like to join. We always try to do a movie night every week, but then we also do like watch along, read alongs when we do adaptations like this. So we always have a lot of fun hanging out in the chat together while watching the movies and just talking through all the goofiness. Um, so yeah, again, that is linked down below. If you want to join us over there, we would love to have you. And I will check back in with you guys when I have finished my next holiday romance. Right, let's talk about the next holiday romance that I read, and that was A Trick Shot by Kayla Gross or Gross. I don't know. I don't know how to say that last name. This is book 1 in the Brother Puckers series, which is kind of like a hockey romance series. Don't know when I'll continue. I think these are all like holiday themes, so I think the next one is like Valentine's Day, so maybe in February I'll pick that up. But here we follow Leo McKnight, who is the identical twin to a very famous hockey player. And he is at the airport on Christmas Eve trying to get to his families for the holidays, but his flight is canceled. So he's at the airport bar where he bumps into our female main character, Riley, who is in the same situation. She's trying to go home for the holidays and her flight is also canceled. She kind of just makes the assumption that Leo is his brother, and Leo, trying to be nice and not ruin someone's holiday, is like, yeah, totally that famous hockey player. So he ends up inviting her back to his penthouse, which is actually his best friend Jace's penthouse. Now, Leo and Jace both have a relationship together that's like they sleep together, they almost live together, but they've never like made that distinction. Like, yes, we are boyfriend and boyfriend. Um, and they also like to dabble in threesomes. So he invites her back, knowing Jace is home and that there's a whole night of possibilities ahead of them. So this is a male, male, female. Why choose? Um, it is very spicy. It is mostly smut and spice. Like once they get to the penthouse, that's kind of it, and it's just all spice from there. I ended up giving it 4 stars. It was a quick, enjoyable read. It was under 200 pages. However, it couldn't get 5 stars from me because I don't like the lying. Um, Leo doesn't come clean about not being the hockey player until after they've all slept together, and it only then comes out kind of accidentally. But also that they catch feelings so quickly here. Like they just spend Christmas Eve together, and all of a sudden these two boys are like, we need her. She's ours. And like, of course, when she finds out, she leaves all upset, goes back to her family, but the two of them fly out to her and beg and grovel and win her back. So they do end up happily ever after at the end. But why did we need to lie to get there? Like, she thought he was attractive regardless. Um, our female main character in this is also a very curvy girl. So I love seeing chunkier female main characters. I feel like we don't get a lot of them. So that was really nice representation there. And yeah, overall, it was pretty good. Again, don't condone the lying and deceiving that they did to her, but it was still pretty cute and brought the holiday magic to the table regardless. So, yeah, I'm excited to read the next book, and that is going to be the 12 Days of Dash and Lily, which, if you've seen the Dash and Lily Netflix series, you already probably know this story, but um, yeah, I'm excited to read it nonetheless because I think it's just going to bring that little bit of Christmas joy, and it's YA, so it should be pretty lighthearted as well. And I will check back in with you guys when I've finished and let you know my thoughts. All right, it's time to talk about the next holiday romance book that I read, and this was actually a YA one, The 12 Days of Dash and Lily. Um, if you've seen the Netflix series, you already know the story. Um, this is book 2 of the Dash and Lily series. I enjoyed book 1. However, this one I'm only giving 2 stars. Dash and Lily both are having a rough time at home with their families for lots of different reasons. Lily's beloved grandpa had a heart attack, so she's having difficulty with him on the road to recovery. And she really just starts treating everyone like garbage, especially Dash. She keeps like ghosting him, trying to break up with him. And really, most of this book, I just kept rolling my eyes at Lily and I wanted to smack her. Um, by the end, like the last, like, I don't know, maybe 10 pages or so were super cute. But like, other than that, this was a pretty big miss for me. At least it was super short, so it had that going for it. I read it in one sitting. Um, but yeah, can't say that I recommend this one, unfortunately, but I'm excited to get into my next holiday romance. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet, but I will check back in with you guys later. All right, it's time to talk about the next holiday romance book that I read, and this was actually a YA one, The 12 Days of Dash and Lily. Um, if you've seen the Netflix series, you already know the story. Um, this is book two of the Dash and Lily series. I enjoyed book one. However, this one I'm only giving 2 stars. Dash and Lily both are having a rough time at home with their families for lots of different reasons. Lily's beloved grandpa had a heart attack, so she's having difficulty with him on the road to recovery. And she really just starts treating everyone like garbage, especially Dash. She keeps like ghosting him, trying to break up with him. Um, and really, most of this book, I just kept rolling my eyes at Lily and I wanted to smack her. um, by the end, like the last I don't know, maybe 10 pages or so were super cute, but like other than that, this was a pretty big miss for me. At least it was super short, so it had that going for it. I read it in one sitting. Um, but yeah, can't say that I recommend this one unfortunately, but I'm excited to get into my next holiday romance. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet. But I will check back in with you guys later. All right, I have officially finished my next holiday romance, and that is Spectacular by Stephanie Garber, which is a novella that is meant to be read after the third book in the Caraval series. I ended up giving this one 3 stars. Overall, I had a good time with it and I liked the story. I think it was just a little too short. I read this in about an hour, so the whole thing felt a little rushed to me. But of course, as usual, Stephanie Garber's writing is very whimsical and flowery, and it really sucks you in to the magic of the world. In this one, we're following Scarlett and Tella as they're getting ready for the holiday season and hosting a giant party. Of course, in usual fashion, this is the Tella show and thinks everything should come to a stop just for her because she's trying to find the perfect gift and she is struggling to do so. and she learns real quick that that's not going to happen. And yeah, we just follow her shenanigans in most of this. It was still fun and definitely gave the holiday vibes. I would not read this if you have not read the other 3 books in the series because it will definitely spoil things for you. But overall, I still think it was fun. It was a very quick read, a definitely very festive read. And I will check back in with you guys when I finish my next book. All right, so I have finished my next holiday romance, and that was In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. I absolutely love their writing. I think they are so cute and funny and clever, and their books always have a very like heartwarming vibe to them. Their male main characters are always very sweet and caring. And this one definitely did not disappoint. I absolutely did not know what I was getting into with this because the description is very vague. It says one Christmas wish, two brothers. So in my mind, maybe it's a my mind thing. I went to why choose. This is not a why choose. It is kind of like a Groundhog's Day sort of situation where May, our female main character, um, keeps repeating the same like holiday weekend away at a cabin with her family and a couple other families. They've like all been going since childhood, but obviously like the kids are all grown ups and adults now. And her first playthrough of this, she chooses the wrong brother, and then on her way home, she's like regretting things and she's like talking to the universe like show me something that will make me happy. And then all of a sudden there's a car crash and she wakes up on the plane flying to this holiday weekend with her family and like starting it all over. And like each time she dies or whatever and like it's always something ridiculous and goofy and holiday themed. Um but also seeing her relationship when she finally like chooses the right brother and lets him know how she feels and comes clean with him. about like her situation, and for some reason they're like, yeah, that's totes normal. We fully understand what you're going through. Um, it's a little goofy. I mean, but whatever. It's fiction. You need to suspend your disbelief a little. But I thought it brought some really cute Christmas magic and cheer, and I absolutely loved it. I gave it 4 stars. Um, I do wish that our female main character was a little bit better about like expressing herself and her feelings. But I also get where she's coming from. You know, she's just moving back home with her parents. She's having a hard time with her job and her life, and everything is feels like it's going down the drain. So like I understand her having a hard time like having to ask for help and that kind of thing, but I wish she was just a little bit better at communicating, because it obviously would have helped wrap up a lot of things in this book much quicker. But overall, it was cute, it was fun, and it was Christmassy. And I will check back in with you guys when I finish my next one. All right, I've officially finished my next holiday romance book, and that is Yeti Christmas by Michaela Wieland. I actually read this on Kindle Unlimited. It is a holiday novella. It's about 140 pages, so it's a fairly quick read. And this one was so cute and so cozy. I gave it 4 stars. In this one, we follow Harper, and she is an author. She unfortunately was in a really bad relationship and was abused. She now has a phobia of water, so like she can't take a bath, she can't take a shower without like leaving a foot hanging out the door. She's really just struggling to survive at this point. She's not able to write romance books anymore, and her editor has really been on her because she's contracted for another book. So she tells her, you know, why don't you take some time away and try to like get a change of pace, and maybe it'll get the inspiration flowing again and you can start writing. So Harper books this cozy little cabin at the bottom of a mountain, kind of in the middle of nowhere, and ends up meeting Evan Arietti. And it's really cute. It's adorable. He is so sweet. He just wants to make her holiday special. Let's see. He just does all the cutest, sweetest things. He also rescues her. He tries to take care of her. Um, Once they finally get over the whole Yeti thing, like her kind of trying to teach him how to use modern conveniences, because obviously he's just been living like out in the woods in a cave. Um, it's all just really cute and sweet. Of course, it's a monster romance, so there is not some spice. There's a lot of spice. There is some nodding involved, so if that's not your thing, maybe see yourself out. But it was definitely super cute, gave all the warm and fuzzy vibes that I want from a holiday romance, and I had a lot of fun with this one. All right, guys, I have finished my next holiday romance book. It's kind of a stretch to call it a romance. It is more like a erratic horror romance novella. It's very dark, but it is called Mean One by the author Absinthe. Um, it's it was so much fun. Like it gave all of the Grinch vibes that you would want. It followed the story fairly close, or at least like the general idea. You could very much see the correlations to all of the different Grinch movies in this, but definitely very, very different. Max is still his companion, but is a human companion who is absolutely bonkers. She kind of reminds me of like Harley Quinn, that sort of a character. The Grinch in here is called the Grouch. They live in Horville instead of Whoville, which is weird, but whatever. Again, this was just meant to be a dark, spicy time. This was not meant to be like a cute romance per se. But there are multiple relationships in here. Um, we also have a character that is Martha May, but it is May Martha in this book because, like, obviously the author could not use the actual names from the Grinch. There is a Cindy character, but she's not really all that prevalent in here. Um, she is mentioned a few times, but we don't really have any real connection with her. Uh, we yeah, it was just weird. It was goofy. I don't wanna say that it was good. I ended up giving it 3 stars, um, but I still had such a great time reading it. It was just so off the walls and bonkers, and but still brought the Grinch. It still brought Christmas. So, yeah, I don't know. This was a fun time. It's definitely not going to be something for everyone. It is definitely not something that I would recommend to most people, but I still had fun with it. So, I guess that's what counts. And I will check back in with you guys later when I've read my next romance. All right, let's talk about the next holiday romance book that I read, and that is Charlie's Christmas Wolf by C.D. Gorey. I got this one during a Stuff Your Kindle Day thing last year sometime. It's been a while. Um, I knew nothing about it. It is part of the Mackenwood Pack series about wolf shifters, and basically, a bunch of wolves capture this girl and bring her back to their alpha because he's in trouble and he needs a mate. So they like think she's right for him, and she is supposed to like pretend to be his mate for this meeting, and of course sparks end up happening between her and the alpha, and yeah, this I ended up giving 2 stars. It was really weird and cringy. It didn't make any sense. It like all happened way too quickly. It's only 160 pages, so it was really short. The audiobook is also on Everand, so I listened to it on there, so it really flew by very quickly. Um it does take place on Christmas Eve, but other than that, there's really no like Christmas magic to it. It was kind of cute because she does have a pet cat that when she moves in with the pack, because like they all live in this like compound together, um, she brings her cat with, and they're all like they haven't been around cats before, so like all the wolves are struggling to like deal with having her cat. So like that was kind of cute, but that was the only redeeming thing for the whole book. The romance was weird and cringy. It didn't make sense. It was like insta love, and yeah, it like she was captured and taken to this guy, and within like 2 pages of that happening, she's like enamored with him and wants to marry him. I don't know. I don't get it. It was weird. Um so yeah, I don't want to talk about this book anymore. It made me mad. But I do have one more holiday romance to read, and that is Wreck the Halls by Tessa Bailey. So I will check back in with you guys when I have finished that one and let you know my thoughts. All right, guys, I have finished my last holiday romance of the season, and that was Wreck the Halls by Tessa Bailey. I ended up giving this one 3 stars. I just wish it would have brought more Christmas to it. Like it took place over like the month of December, and the whole point of it was our 2 main characters were supposed to get their mom's band back together to play a Christmas Eve show. And while they do a few holiday-ish activities, it didn't really bring any holiday spirit, which is what I look for in a holiday romance. Like I want it to bring the Christmas magic, and this just didn't deliver on that front. While it was still an enjoyable read and quite spicy in true Tessa Bailey fashion, and even with the spice, it was very different than what I've read in some of her other books just because of the preferences of our male main character. But yeah, it was interesting. It was cute. The plot was a little ridiculous. Like the whole point of this was that Melody, our female main character, and Beat, our male main character, were supposed to work together and be live streamed, trying to get their mom's band back together because both of their moms were in the same band while they were growing up. But something happened and it all broke apart, fell apart. But these producers want the moms to perform for a Christmas Eve show. Seems kind of silly to me. Like, I don't know why anyone would want to watch these two bumble around trying to get their mothers to agree to a concert. But apparently, it's like the hit thing for people to watch this holiday season in this book. So it was a little ridiculous, but overall, it was still enjoyable and I had a good time with it. So, yeah, I think 3 stars is where we land on this. All right, guys, those were all of the holiday romance books that I read throughout the month of December. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up on your way out. Make sure you subscribe if you are new and that your notifications are turned on so you don't miss any upcoming content. Still have a few more Bookmas videos ahead, so make sure you keep an eye out for those the next couple days, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye!